Football has come a long way from the times when players would crack a can at half time and promote smoking products whilst having a diet consisting of beers, pies and more beers. Nutrition in football has become more quality over quantity rather than the other way around, as top-of-the-range nutritionists are constantly researching the best and most effective diets to maximise one's performance. It seems to be all about health and less about pleasure, and as you could imagine, this can be frustrating for players. Managers themselves have gone to lengths to ensure that players stay disciplined. For example, Antonio Conte banned ketchup from the training ground canteen at Tottenham, whilst David Moyes banned chips at United, and then Republic of Ireland manager Giovanni Trapattoni exiled mushrooms from the menu. Don't think Giovanni's men would have lost much sleep over that one though. However, after having said all this, would it shock you if I said that there is a large number of footballers at the top level that are addicted to Snus? But why? Well, for those of you that aren't sure what Snus actually is, it is a tobacco product sealed in a pouch which is consumed by leaving it under the lip where the nicotine is absorbed into the mouth. And a study conducted by Loughborough University in the Premier League, EFL and WSL found that 1 in 5 players take Snus.
Now, a study has found that around 1 in 5 male and female professional football players are currently using Snus nicotine pouches or both. The study by Loughborough University states that true usage figures are likely to be even higher due to players not wanting to disclose their use.
The study also found that the main reasons for the players indulging in Snus included that it improved mental readiness and helped them relax after training or a match. This is interesting because these key advantages mentioned don't really impact a player's performance. Of course, mental health is a key factor in one's performance. However, taking a product that boosts it after a game seems like a counterproductive way of improving on the pitch. But if this was all Snus did to you, everyone would be doing it. So there has to be a reason as to why they're not. You see, Snus actually has many dangerous downsides, so much that Snus is actually illegal to sell in the UK. However, it is legal if you source the Snus yourself. The product is said to have involvement in heart disease, cancer and diabetes, to name just a few. And of course, due to its high levels of nicotine, it is highly addictive, which could explain why so many players do use it despite the risks. In his autobiography, Jamie Vardy admitted to smoking fags on nights out during his Fleetwood days, but when he realised that he had to cut that out after signing for Leicester, one of his teammates introduced him to Snus. He stated that many more players use them than people think. It's important to state that whilst it may improve performance slightly if taken before or during a match, Snus is not actually banned by the World Anti-Doping Agency, and whilst they have put the product on their watch list, which includes caffeine, players can continue to use the product completely legally. There are alternatives, however, and these include nicotine pouches, which are pretty much Snus without the tobacco. When interviewed, a staff member at a club recalled that they had come in contact with a former Premier League player who described himself as a heavy user and had told the staff member, "I'd love to come off of it, but I just can't. It's everywhere I look. Every other player's taken it. I go to fill up my car and it's at the pump stands. It's too easy." Users responding to the study mentioned earlier reported experiencing worrying indicators of nicotine dependency and short-term withdrawal symptoms. The study also states that half of all men players taking Snus would like to stop, but they can't. There's something really worrying about this, as there's quite a large stigma around it, which may prevent players from seeking help and advice. They don't want to let their teammates and managers down by admitting to taking a product which may have serious health effects, which may hinder their performance, as this could have serious social consequences for them, which could then worsen their mental health and lead them back to Snus or to even stronger substances. Footballers are often treated like robots. They have to perform to an extremely high standard week in, week out. They have to make sacrifices to be better than each other, and whilst they do get rewarded for this with financial freedom for generations, if it all goes wrong, they'll be ridiculed and mocked for eternity. This could make many resort to more extreme escapes such as drugs and gambling. So Snus could actually be a much safer way of players letting off steam and blocking off the outside world. We should acknowledge and embrace that footballers go through problems and are humans, and not just write them off as overpaid actors. A good example of this was Dele Alli, who many people considered as a wasted talent, someone who had the potential to go to the top, however just didn't have the work ethic and was simply too lazy to. However, when he came out in an interview and opened up about the struggles he had faced physically and mentally, public perception changed around him, because we got to know more about him as a person rather than just as a player. So yeah, for me, this increase in Snus usage in players could be a little worrying, or maybe it's not as deep as I'm making it out to be. But you tell me what you think.